Well, hi there folks, it's Kim Willis again with another lesson in the challenge, the $1 Million Formula Challenge. How I use tribe building strategies to make my first million online, $1 million. Now, this is lesson 4. What's lesson 4 about? Well, it's about expanding your tribe, because you started by creating your instant tribe, and then we went into connect and convert. And now we need to go back to the core activity that is integral to the success of any marketing program, particularly one that revolves around the use of tribe building strategies. So we've got to be constantly expanding our tribe. So we need to build it daily. Every day you must add new people to your tribe. Okay? Now, let's have a look at a couple of key points. The first one is tribe building is a core activity, as if you didn't know. I'm sure you know by now. It is a core activity. It's like breathing and drinking and water. You know, you got to have water and you got to breathe every, whatever it is. So it's a core activity. You can't quit on it. You just got to keep doing it. Building your tribe, building your tribe, building your tribe. Okay, so you want to add new members to your tribe every day. And that's about it for this page. Let's move on. Now, what did I do way back when, starting in 2006? And it was evolving, okay? I think I've said before that when I first started, there wasn't any branding. I didn't know anything about personal branding, anything like that. It was basically I joined an affiliate program, a high-ticket affiliate program, and I plugged into their system, their capture page, their sales pages and so on, okay, their automated email follow-ups and all the rest of it. So that was it. It was easy for me. It was simple. I didn't have to develop any of that stuff myself. That was good. But after a time, I realized that if I wanted to create something more sustainable, I needed to start branding myself, etc. And that way it'd make it easy for me to generate leads and convert leads, because there'd be more trust. Okay. That said, even before I embarked on the attraction marketing, personal branding strategy, I was still building my tribe. I was definitely building my tribe. I was very, very focused on converting these leads that were being generated into fans, into part of my warm audience, because I instinctively knew that if I did that, it'd be easy to do business. It would. Okay? So, building my tribe daily, well, I was running ads and I was generating leads. And I was connecting with those people. In the early stages, it was on the phone. And I have phoned a lot of leads. I've dialed for dollars many times, over 10,000 times, okay, since 2006. Now, I don't run many, I don't use the phone much now. It's more, the digital methods, so Skype and, Facebook Messenger and Zoom, and etc. So things have changed somewhat. But look, back then it was about getting some response happening. So I was running ads. I approached current contacts, as I said. I networked offline. I was involved with local networking groups in my hometown. I distributed promotional pieces offline. These were like sizzle cards and things like that, and I placed them anywhere and everywhere. I placed them at ATM machines. I even went into 5-star hotels and placed them in the, because I was promoting like a business kind of an opportunity thing. So I'd go into 5-star hotels and go into the restrooms there and place a bunch of them on the, on the wash base, in the wash, the wash basin area. I do all sorts of crazy things like that. I'd put them on notice boards. What else did I do? I went into bookshops and I placed them in the back of books written by authors whose subject matter would be congruent with what I was on about. So Robert Kiyosaki books, for instance, Bob Proctor books, etc. Success books, money books, etc. Yeah, I did all of that and more. Believe me, I did more. Okay, so I started to learn what worked and what didn't work, but it was just about getting people to come into my orbit, my circle of influence. All right, and if I get people to lean forward and make an inquiry, even people that at networking events, I didn't go and pitch people, but I wanted them to lean forward to me. So by then I was using attraction marketing techniques. I learned how to use words so that people would light up their eyes and lean forward and ask me, what am I doing? What am I talking about? Right. So I remember when I used to go along to these meetups, and I was involved with a few. One was called the Law of Attraction meetup. Another one was called was a internet marketing kind of a meetup. And particularly the Law of Attraction meetup, I did quite well there because it attracted success-minded people. I'd meet once a month, or sometimes it was once a fortnight actually. But then what would happen is that everyone gets an opportunity at the beginning of the meeting to stand up and say who they are and what they do. All right. So I made it my business to craft, and that's, I think, the right word, to craft a message, commit it to memory, and then share it, right? And that was one of the methods that I used to get leads, because I would share this benefit-laden message that didn't come across as being pitchy, but it had benefit. People could recognise that, and had a bit of sizzle, and it created interest. It stimulated interest. Okay, and then quite often in the coffee break or something like that, or at the end of the meeting, I'd get a few people, not many, 2 or 3, but gee, that's all you need, 2 or 3 good prospects. They'd come up to me and they'd say, "What were you talking about there? Were you talking about?" One of the programs I started promoting in 2000 and when was it? 2009, I think it was. Yeah, 2009 was a high-ticket travel membership program. Okay, and so my little talk when I was given the opportunity to stand up I talked about that. I can't remember what the exact words were now, but it was something like, I'm in the travel business, and I also help people not only get some great travel deals, but at the same time they can rewrite their future by creating a semi-autonomous income stream, something like that. So people would come up to me in the coffee break or at the end of the meeting. So I like it when people approach me. Okay, that to me is a smart way of operating. Running ads, same thing. They're approaching me. When I started blogging and doing YouTube marketing, people were approaching me. Okay, people were searching for different things online, and sometimes if they were searching on YouTube, sometimes my video would pop up as in the search results, or one of my blog posts would pop up in the Google search engine results. You see? Next thing I know, I've got a lead with a phone number. See? And so when I moved from just the original base model, generating leads, I was completely unbranded and then phoning those leads, then I moved to more of an attraction marketing model. It made it easier for me to further build my tribe. And by the time I connected with people on the phone, quite often they had read one of my blog posts or seen one of my YouTube videos. In fact, I've got people in the Tribe Builder Core group, which is a Facebook group, which is for paid members, people who have purchased the Tribe Builder Core product. And I can think of one right now. She found me through a YouTube video, one of my YouTube videos. And she has been she's also an affiliate for the Tribe Builder Core product, and she has been my most prolific producer. Her name is Connie. So she found me on YouTube. See, there's attraction marketing. There's tribe building. So by the time she saw my video. Maybe she clicked on a link in the description area, and that link would would be linked. That link would take her through to my blog, and then there's a capture page or a form on there that they could fill out. Next thing I know, she's a lead for me. Okay, and then we connected on Facebook, and one thing led to another. So she was well and truly in my tribe even before I spoke to her on the phone, I think, because the tools, the content that she was exposed to had already warmed her up, and she's thinking, I like this stuff, I can relate to what this guy is saying, makes me feel good, I want to know more. See? Yeah. This is about working smarter, not harder necessarily. Okay? So, alright, what else do we do? I did what I could to build my authority with these people so they could become my followers. Alright, let's keep going. Now, key points. Even though leads from ads were cold, I became adept at warming them up on the phone fast. This, I think you already know that, but I'm just reminding you, okay? Now, after 2 years, I learned about email marketing and branded lead capture pages and thank you pages, as well as blogging and YouTubing, video marketing, you name it. I use these tools to warm, even Twitter. I use these tools to warn people before I call them, and I call that the delayed call method. So what happened was that if no matter which source a lead came from an ad, came from my blog, came from my YouTube, came from Twitter or something like that, I did not phone them immediately. Okay, it was a deliberate ploy or tactic on my part. I didn't phone them initially because I wanted them to be exposed, to be further exposed to me and my content and my messaging. So I would wait a few days, okay? So, and by the time I phoned them on say the third day, sometimes it was 4 days, by the time I phoned them, they'd been fairly well saturated with Kim Willis's messaging, right? And invariably, they knew me, they felt that they knew me, right? And I got a warm greeting, right? So as far as I'm concerned, they're already in my tribe, right? They're already following me and supporting me. And that just made things so much easier. So I'm very pleased that I discovered that book by this guy called Mike Diller. That's how it all started. I bought this book. It was called Magnetic Sponsoring. And he was talking about this attraction marketing concept, okay? And that was about 2 years after I started. It was about 2008. Yeah. So, and I've been doing this kind of thing ever since. The other reason why I like the delayed call, using the delayed call method, is that because it helped to improve my posture with people. You get what I'm saying? I don't sound too eager. I don't sound desperate. I got the lead on Monday. I'm not phoning them on Monday. Right? I'm playing it cool. I'm phoning them on Wednesday. Or perhaps Thursday. Okay? I'm playing it cool. That's a pointer there. You want to take note of that one. Now, some of these people followed me into other opportunities over the years as well. So, this, to me, is a very sound strategy. It's a mature strategy. It's for grown-ups. It's for grown-ups, not for kids. What do I do now? Things are a bit different. Facebook is my hub now. I still have my blog, but I'm not producing 3 blog posts a week like before. I'm quite honest with you, lately it's been like one every 2 months, but I'm in the process of rectifying that. YouTube, I have been a prolific video producer, but I've got to say, this year, not so much. Not so much. I need to do something about that. But it's just that, this has been kind of an incredibly busy year for me. And something had to give. I had to put a few things on the back burner because I'm building something big, I think. And I had to just prioritize where I devote my time. But I need to address that. But I'm already addressing the blog issue. That one's pretty well sorted now. Because Facebook is a monster, right? And it took me quite a while before I understood how to use Facebook. I had a lot of hang-ups about it. I had a lot of hang-ups about social media in general, not just Facebook. You know, a lot of self-talk. I'm not a social person. You know, I'm not a social media person. I hate it. But, you know, in the end, I just decided I've got to make the commitment, because there are so many people who are using social media now, and they're doing well, and I didn't want to miss that action. I wanted to be part of it, okay? And, you know, I think social media has a lot of advantages. It's got some disadvantages, of course, every strategy does, but it's got a lot of advantages. And you can certainly generate more leads, you can certainly generate leads faster than compared to blogging and compared to YouTubing. As much as I love those two strategies, the social media, if you're doing it the way we do it, you can generate leads very quickly. Just adding members to a group, that's a lead. They're leads, as far as I'm concerned. They may not be warm or hot leads, but they're leads. Well, someone joins your group because they're interested in your topic. That sounds like a lead to me. So Facebook, you can get some action happening quite quickly. I made money in my first month after starting. You know, when I started using these strategies. By the end of that first month, I'd made some money. And not big sales, not big ticket sales, just little itty bitty, you know, information products, something like that. But I made money. That's the thing. I made some money, a couple of $100, a few hundred, whatever it was, and I generated a bunch of leads in the first month. And I didn't have a Facebook group. Think about that. I did not have a Facebook group. I was just doing it with my personal profile. Before then, I was very much, you know, traditional. I thought everything was everything focused on the business page. We're talking Facebook, right? But I just kept looking at it, and there was no engagement, because I wasn't spending ads at the time, money on ads on Facebook at least at the time. So I was trying to get I was trying to get some free, you know, free engagement and perhaps leads from my Facebook page. So I was posting good content. It was good content on the Facebook page, but barely a like, virtually no comments each day. I might be lucky to get one comment a week, and I had 5,000 so-called fans, you know, or likes, and be lucky to get one comment a week. And then I was starting to hear about other people using their personal profile, and they were getting comments every day, multiple comments on their content. And you know, you cannot generate leads if you don't get engagement. That's as simple as that. It means you haven't got anyone following you. You know, there's no one leaning forward. There's no one lapping up your content. So I made the switch, and that was only in May 2016. Not long ago. I made the switch, and within a couple of weeks, my engagement levels just shot up markedly compared to the business page, using the business page approach method. So that was it. It was, you know, full speed ahead from there. And so I made a bit of money in the first month and generated some leads. And then 3 months later, I started my first Facebook group. Yep, 3 months later. And once again, I made money in the first month. Not a lot, it was under $1,000, but hey, to do that in your first month from free methods, I think is freaking awesome. I was surprised, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it. I didn't think it'd be that fast. And then, you know, that group ended up producing a lot more income over the next 12 months. And then I started another group called Try Builder Community. That was a year later, right? That was in 2017. Yeah, so, and that group, that group was amazing, because by then I really knew what I was doing, okay? So that group, and I already had a following, that some of whom joined the new group. I made $25,000 or $27,000 in the first month. I ran a promotion, and it worked very, very well. So, so Facebook is my hub, and I supplement with the following: Twitter, Instagram. I've got to be honest with you, I have not looked at my Instagram account for a year. That's a fact. It's been neglected, no doubt about it. But it's on the drawing board. A rejig is in the works, and it will be happening. We're in the process of rejigging my Twitter campaign. I think I've just reached 45,000 followers on my #1 account. So my blog, in the process of rejigging that. YouTube, okay, got to do a bit of a, that'll be the next. Once I've got the Instagram working, blog, okay, YouTube will be the next one. But I'm still getting traffic from YouTube. I'm still getting leads from YouTube. But I need more content. I haven't been very active lately. Okay, not a problem. It'll be solved. And then, of course, my email list. I have a boutique email list. I did a huge culling several years ago. I just removed 90% of the deadwood, right? And so now I've got a more responsive list. So they're the main things. I'm not as active with my email marketing as I used to be either. I make a commitment to email my list once a week now. But it used to be once a day. It used to be daily. Okay, now, Facebook strategy. A little bit more detail here for you. Personal profile, as indicated, to me, that's where the action is. If you do it properly, you've got to create value content. You don't spray links all over your personal profile wall. You don't do any of that. That will alienate people. It will ruin your brand. You'll never be perceived as being a valuable person, a helpful person, an authoritative person. You won't have any of that. All you're doing is pitching. You're like the worst type of used car salesman. Facebook group, done correctly, Facebook groups can work very well, as I indicated. I use Messenger, Facebook Messenger. That is one of the greatest tools there is. Okay, it's a tool that you can use to generate leads with. If you've already got leads from, let's say, there's two ways to get leads. One is to create content, and then the content, if it's the right sort of content, you've got the right type of audience, you will get leads from your content. Okay? But there are other ways to generate leads on Facebook, and one of those methods is to use Messenger. So, we start engaging with people. We do it in a professional way that doesn't alienate people, and we use the Messenger tool to do it. So we can generate leads. Now, if you've already got a lead, okay, from your content, as opposed to from Messenger, you still use Messenger to convert the lead, to help convert the lead. And we start out with a text-based chat that you've got a lead, and you say, okay, I notice that you've made an inquiry, or you said yes to my post, my recent post. You said yes to my free report offer, or whatever it happens to be, my cheat sheet offer, or something like that. Free video, whatever. Just be creative. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It could be someone else's content. It could be someone else's free report. Do a Google search. You can get. Don't. Some people say, "Oh, I haven't got a free report." Oh, well, go and either write one or borrow one. Use one off Google. Find one. There's lots and lots of free content out there that you can use and offer it as a free report or something like that. Okay? Cheat sheet. One sheet of valuable information. All right, so somebody's requested that from your blog post, from your Facebook post, and then you use the Messenger tool to ask them, well, okay, you made this, you asked for my cheat sheet, I'd love to give it to you, I've got it here to give it to you now, but before I hand it over, I'm curious, what prompted your interest? Or what prompted your response? And just let them talk. And then ask another couple of questions. And before you know it, some of them are going to be giving you their pain point. They'll be telling you about the thing that keeps them awake at night. Now, I target struggling marketers. So if they say, I say, what prompted your interest? Let's say that the cheat sheet was about, okay, I've got a video, right? I've got a free video. It's on YouTube. It's called Six-Figure Tribes. Okay? And so sometimes I'll promote that in my Facebook group and on my personal profile. So when they say yes in the comments section of under the post, I'll then ping them on Messenger and I say, well, what prompted your interest? I'm curious. And then they tell me. They say, well, I like the idea of generating leads, warm leads on Facebook, something like that. Okay, what sort of methods have you been using up till now? So it's just a logical series of common sense questions, taking an interest in people. I put my consultant's hat on, not my sales. I think a lot of people underperform because they feel that they have to be selling. The way I do it is more of a consultative approach, and more often than not, people will lean forward, and when the time is right, they'll ask me to buy. Smart strategy, passive inbound. Promote with content on your personal profile. Okay, so you can, as I said, you can generate leads with content, with a kind of a lead generating post. Now I don't do it that often because I've got leads. I've got more leads than I know what to do with. See, so I don't really need another influx of leads. But when I was just starting out with this stuff, I'd run a promotional type post about 1 in 10. So most of my posts were just either funny, social type posts, or helpful business kind of posts, marketing, lead generation tips and things like that. And then every now and again, about 1 in 10 times, I would slip in a lead generation post, and there'd be an offer, and the offer would be a cheat sheet, a free report, a video, something like that, anything to get people to lean forward. And of course the topic would be relevant for my target audience. But then I generated leads using Messenger, where I was reaching out to people, new friends, etc. Or someone makes a friend request of me. Well, I check their profile. If they look like a marketer type person, I would accept it. And then I would reach out to them and say, hey, great to, thanks for friending me. Great to have you on board. I see that looks like you're some kind of a marketer, or what are you promoting at the moment? So you just get a conversation going, the gentle art of conversation. And 10 to 30 conversations a day. That's it. Each conversation, how long does it last? Well, on average, it might be 5 minutes, because some of them only last for 30 seconds or a minute if they're not the sort of people you're looking for. Others might last 10 to 15 minutes, but what I tend to do now is if I've got a good prospect and it looks like a really warm lead, okay, I'm going to move away from the text-based chatting and move to a voice call. Because voice calls have a power all of their own. And I can't give you a tutorial on how to conduct voice calls. You get involved with Try Build a Core, you'll learn some of that stuff. And just talk to the person who invited you to join this challenge, and they'll give you a video you can watch, and it'll show you how Try Build a Core works. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and it's not expensive. And then finally, in a circle, empower people. Pick 3, 4, 5 people that you think you'd like to have in the group, we're talking about a Facebook group, supporting you, and get them to contribute content and make comments on your posts, and then you can do the same thing for them. So there's a bit of reciprocation there. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We're at ground zero here, so you want to create some instant credibility, instant engagement. Okay? So choose your inner circle, 3 to 5 people. That's what I did. Works very well. 2 try building tips. I told you in the previous couple of lessons that I created a series called How to Build a Cult-Like Following for Your Business. 21 ways to build a cult-like following for your business. Yes. So I've given you 4 tips so far, and here are the last 2. Because the last lesson, lesson 5, which will complete the series, I just don't have enough room left to give you any more of these tips, because I've got a jam-packed session for the last day. Okay? So here are the last 2. And these 2 are 2 of my favorites. Pick a fight. Who is your enemy? Take your fight to the wicked empire. Now I'll give you an example of how this worked extremely successfully for a company that you would be well familiar with, namely Apple computers. Okay? Now Apple, as you probably know, was started by a guy called Steve Jobs. But not just Steve Jobs, there was another guy in there called Steve Wozniak. They were kind of high school friends or college friends, right? And they started it in the garage of one of their parents' houses. Now, and they started building their first little desktop computer. Okay, I don't know if they called it the Apple Mac back then, but it was something that they thought they could do better than other companies out there, and they did it in the garage, right? And they started to sell a few of them, and that's how the company was born. But anyway, fast forward to the time when they were launching. What was it? Oh, well, it might have been the Macintosh. Yeah, I think it was the Macintosh. And they engaged the services of someone called Guy Kawasaki. And this guy was a bit of a genius marketer. And he knew all about the pick-a-fight strategy. So he focused on the enemy. What was the enemy? PCs. The old-fashioned world of PCs, personal computers, and IBM, because IBM was dominant at that time, okay? IBM computers, right? And this was around the time when Microsoft was really starting to kick some goals as well. So, in fact, Microsoft joined with IBM and started supplying IBM the Microsoft operating system, and what a clunky, rotten thing that was. I think they called it the DOS system or something. So Apple comes along with this Macintosh, very user-friendly, intuitive, represented a quantum leap forward. So Guy Kawasaki decided to develop an advertising campaign for Apple which would take the fight to the PC world. And they developed a number of TV ads and newspaper and magazine ads, and basically they were attacking the old style PC platform. Okay? That's what they did. And it became a phenomenally successful campaign. And it really put Apple computers on the map in a big way. Right? Pick a fight. So who is your enemy? Who is it? Do you know? Someone in the industry? Well, we're not going to get personal here. We don't need to talk about an individual. We may talk about a company, or we may talk about the traditional industry, and you're fighting the trend. Okay? Now, one of the things that I do is I talk about Facebook ads, and I say how bad they are for newbies in the main, right? So Facebook ads for me is an enemy. Spamming and pitching, using those kinds of methods on social media platforms such as Facebook, that's an enemy. That's the enemy. That's another enemy for me. Okay? Because it's not sustainable. These platforms are low-trust platforms, so why would you use a low-trust strategy? It makes no sense, so I will take it up to them. Another one is investment scams. That's another one of my enemies. So sometimes I'll write posts about these things and let people know that I stand for something. You know the saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You've got to stand for something. You've got to nail your flag to the mast. You've got to do that. And you will automatically attract more people to you. People will resonate with your message. Okay, so who is your enemy? Or what is your enemy? Think about it. And then finally we have thought reform. Your objective is to move people to your point of view. Do you believe that? A lot of people don't believe it. They think, oh no, that's not my job. No. Oh no, that would mean that, oh no, I'm invading their space. Well, you're not invading their space. Or you may be. You're invading a bit of their head space. Right? It's not brainwashing. It's not brainwashing because the vast majority of people can't be brainwashed. Some people say, oh, this cult stuff, it's really bad. Well, it can be in the hands of the wrong leader, no doubt about it. But some of these techniques can work very well if you've got good intentions. right? And you uppermost in your thinking is the welfare of people. You can't control people ultimately. Sometimes I think it's like trying to herd cats. But what you can do is that you can influence them for a time. It may be for a week, a month, a year. It's not going to be forever, because most of them will then move on to something else. That's just the way it is. Okay? Only a few will stay with you for the long term. But if you can influence them to modify their thinking in certain ways, if you can do that, move them towards your point of view, it will transform your business. Well, it certainly has the potential to transform your business. Thought reform. If you see yourself as being in the business of changing lives and making a difference, you're going to have to influence people to move towards your point of view. And that's what all leaders do. All leaders. It's the followers that are uncomfortable with this idea of doing it themselves. But the followers are already playing the game. It's just that they're not the leader. Right? They would feel uncomfortable doing it. So you've got to make a decision as to whether you're a leader or a follower. I hope it's the former. I hope your decision is the former. That you decide that, yes, I am going to be a leader. I'm going to step up. I'm going to take the leadership baton and I'm going to run with it. I am. I'm going to run with it. You ready for that? Okay. Well, you need to embrace this strategy. Thought reform. Thought reform. We're in the business of influencing people. It's almost as if we're wanting to bend people to our will. And I have no problems with it at all. I think it's a very good thing. Because I know that what I'm doing is honourable. Okay? It's honourable. And if people don't follow my business, if I don't get more people to follow the strategy, well, more and more of these people are going to be walking into walls every day of the week. And then they'll ultimately quit the industry and lose their dream. To me, it's higher purpose stuff. It's a high purpose activity. So I have no bad feelings about it. Pick a fight and thought reform. Two very, very powerful strategies. Homework. This is what I want you to do. I want you to ask 10 niche-specific people to become your friends and or join your group within 24 hours. Now, I hope you've got a group, because I really would like you to do both. If they're not already Facebook friends, okay, you friend them. But I'd want you to get them to join your group. So I hope you've got a group. So if you've got a group, I want you to add 10 members to your group. But you've got to ask them first. You just don't go and add people. That's a weak way of building a group, and it will not work. They have to buy into it. You've got to kind of win them over to it. You've got to seduce them a little bit and give them the benefits as to why they should join your group. If you haven't yet started a group, okay, well, at the very least, you want these 10 people to become your friends, and they're going to be marketing-oriented people, and you've you've had a conversation with each of the 10. Okay? I want you to have a conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation. I'm not specifying. 5-minute conversation, that's 10 conversations, that's 50 minutes. Let's round it up to an hour. Okay? So it's a 1-hour activity. There you go. And then finally, of course, we want you to report it. Report it to the group. And then if you're having, you reach your 10, or maybe you'll go beyond 10. Fantastic. You're going to get a big pat on the back. On the other hand, if you're still, you're struggling for some reason, you can't get the conversations going, okay, reach out and we will help you. That completes lesson 4. Day 4, build your tribe daily. You have to keep going with this stuff. You've got to do it every day. Day after day after day. Relentless. Relentless. That's one of the keys to success. If you're not relentless, What are you? Flaky? You can't be flaky. You've got to be relentless. You have to be. And that's it. This is a marathon, not a sprint. All right, now day 5, that's tomorrow. That will be the wrap-up, of course. And I've got a great lesson. Not so much on marketing, something else, another topic. But I do have some marketing content in there. But the lesson part is not about marketing. But I've got this bonus. I've got bonus content for you tomorrow. And it's my hot marketing list. Call it what you like, but I think you'll love it. But we've got a lesson as well. All right, look forward to that. This is Kim Willis. Bye for now.